After a long, not so comfortable train journey, I would be arriving in the historic town of Shrewsbury. Starting at Shrewsbury Abbey, founded in 1083 as a Benedictine monastery by the Norman Earl of Shrewsbury, Roger de Montgomery, it grew to be one of the most important and influential abbeys in England, and an important centre of pilgrimage. And it would be the start of my very own pilgrimage around Cycling UK's newest bikepacking route, the Marchers Castle Way. 180 miles of historic Shropshire landscapes to discover. Arriving late into Shrewsbury for this one, I would start making my way out of Shrewsbury along the River Severn, Britain's longest river, which after hours on a hot train was certainly a great way to start in the cooler evening sun. After a nice pedal out of Shrewsbury, I would stumble across the fourth largest Roman city in Roman Britain, Wroxeter. At its peak, around 15,000 people lived here, more than many modern towns in Shropshire today. A bustling Roman hub with a bathhouse, markets, temples and even underfloor heating. Most of the city is still underground, buried beneath farmland, waiting for the future to dig it up. As I had started so late today, the sun was getting lower in the sky, and I needed to find somewhere to camp tonight. So I made my way down the narrow country lanes, passing through the small village of Ironbridge, home to the world's first cast iron bridge, built back in 1779. Once at the centre of the Industrial Revolution, it now just sits there quietly over the River Severn. I would be heading into the dark tonight to find my bed for the night. Wow, good morning. I've done 20 miles of this route so far after a nightmare train journey to get to the start, very late start, but I ended up camping in this woods behind me, and I'm kind of heading properly now in towards the Shropshire Hills. The only problem I'm having, it's a weird one, because this route is 180 miles total length, but for some reason my distance till I finish is this number, 12,608 miles. I'm not sure the Marcher Castle Way is quite that long, but I'm not sure why it's doing that. There is a couple of off-grid segments, so I'm assuming it's something to do with that, and hopefully I'll sort itself out at some point, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. Now the next few days aren't necessarily going to be very hot and sunny like the UK has been for the last couple of weeks, because it's definitely cooled down. There's a few clouds in the sky. It says there's like 50% chance of rain for like an hour here, 50% chance of rain for an hour there. So I might get a bit wet on this trip, but honestly, quite frankly, the heat was killing me, and it's much more refreshing right now. Around, I think it's around like 13-14 degrees currently at about 6 o'clock in the morning. But into the Shropshire Hills we go. First proper day. Let's go and check out this route and have some fun.
With my first proper day on the Marcher Castle's Way underway, it meant I'd start my morning gently climbing towards the Shropshire hills. For now at least, the hills were mellow and the early morning temperature cool. Although it wouldn't be long until I could tell I was getting closer to the real Shropshire hills, as every hill started getting that little harder. That was because I was heading onto Wenlock Edge, over 19 miles long, running the southwest to northwest between Craven Arms and Much Wenlock. And being over 1,000 feet above sea level means the views you get from up here are incredible. The trails running along here was a lot of fun and perfect for the gravel bike, and fairly flat as this was once an old railway line running from Wellington to Craven Arms. The wind had been picking up quite a bit today though, so it was nice to find so much shelter in between the trees.
Nice morning so far. I've only done about 12 miles or so, but you know, it's quite lumpy around Shropshire. The rain clouds are starting to roll in a bit, releasing a little bit of drizzly rain, so nothing too crazy, as long as it's not full pelt torrential rain all day. I don't really mind. It's nice that it's cool, and the only thing is it's getting pretty gusty where I am, and of course it's a headwind. So I've done probably around like 30 or so miles of this whole route so far, and I think in around another 20 or 30 I should come through a place called Ludlow. I'm hoping to get there probably around midday one-ish, and hopefully stop for a bit of lunch. That's the plan, but for now just gonna keep pedaling on through nice gravel tracks. The really nice thing about these ones, I am being sheltered by the wind. So far that has been mostly the case. It's been quite sheltered, although I know later on it'll be a bit more exposed and open, but for now make the most of this type of riding. Let's go. Ludlow and lunch. Ludlow lunch, let's go.
If it wasn't for all this tree cover, I think I would have been really having to work hard. When I think of the Shropshire hills, I think of the open, rolling countryside. So I was very happy to be continuing on between the trees, because not only was the wind continuing to get stronger, the rain clouds had rolled in. So while I still had tree cover and the rain clouds passing above, I decided a snack was in order. Because of just how windy it was though, them rain clouds would pass by quite quickly, which was lucky because now I had to leave the tree cover and get out into the open, exposed Shropshire rolling countryside.
Hold on, Albert. Hold on tight. I do, yeah. I'm doing John O'Groats to Land's End at the moment, and I watched your BMX video. Oh yeah,
yeah, unreal.
So I
yeah, started 7 days ago and got here. So I got 5 more days to do it, but a bit more comfy on this than how you do.
Yeah, well, I couldn't really sit down too much.
Yeah. What are you doing at the moment?
Doing Ludlow Castle. It's like the UK's, I think it's their newest one. I don't know, it was out like a year ago.
Yeah.
A bit delayed on this one.
Yeah. No, unreal.
Are you camping or are you?
So I've been camping, but I'm finishing today at home.
Okay. That's always nice when you got home on the way, right?
So I've had all my bags picked up as well, which is quite nice for travelling light today, which is good.
Brilliant.
But
this looks fun. It's raining. Summer's over, everyone. Back to normal. I think I'll just sit here for a little bit. It's just the rain is just kind of like passing quite quickly. As I'm going into a headwind, the rain is going overhead, so it seems to just chuck it down for like 10-15 minutes and then stop. So might as well just chill out. Got plenty of daylight at the moment. It doesn't get dark till like 9:30, 10 o'clock, so no rush at all. And while there's a little tree here that is keeping me nice and dry, I'll make use of it and wait for it to pass. It looks like it's nearly passed.
It didn't take long for another rain cloud to pass and get back onto climbing that steep hill. Uphill I would be going, and up to the highest point on this route, Abden Berth Summit, was where I was heading, and to get there would require some good old-fashioned hiker bike. Today the views were mostly just watching the low rain clouds incoming, and hope of staying dry today seemed a bit optimistic. The higher I climbed, the more ominous the horizon looked, with rain clouds heading my way.
Been a while since we've been up a big hill in a complete whiteout with rain, but it feels so good. Oh, I much prefer the rain, but it is time to put the jacket on. It's very windy up here, but I think it's time to start going down. Hello, old friend.
I'm quite sure on a beautiful sunny day the views up here are incredible, but for me right now it was hard enough to see the trail, let alone the views. The wind, the rain was well and truly battering me. Downhill I might have been going, but I was still having to grind my way through this rain cloud. But as you can see, it's still raining. Can't seem to escape it. I think I've got like one more climb and then a bit of a descent down to Ludlow. Hopefully I'll be able to find a bit of shelter, have some lunch. Hopefully the rain will pass. One more little climb now. It's not just passing showers either. It's a good old downpour.
Oh, well, made it to Ludlow. Thank God. It's currently not raining, so kind of drying out a little bit. I think it's really when you get up high, it just starts raining. But I've done about 30 miles today. Probably another 30 miles to go until I get to Knighton, which I do want to try and get to today, if possible. And then a little bit past there, to find somewhere to camp a bit later. But it's going to rain until around, or it's on-off rain, until around like 6 p.m. and then after it's just going to be windy. So after about 6 p.m. I should be able to start trying out in the wind. But for now I'm just going to eat some meal deal. Got a sandwich, got some strawberries. But yeah, so far the route's actually been quite fun. Obviously a little bit harder going in the rain and the wind, but it's not really cold, so can't complain, and I'm not melting. So no ice lollies today, just a good old all-day breakfast sandwich. But a couple more climbs until Knighton. Hopefully we won't get too wet. We'll get too wet.
After a much needed lunch, it was time to continue on towards Knighton, but not before passing through Ludlow, home to one of the best preserved medieval castles in England, founded shortly after the Norman conquest of 1066 by Walter de Lacy, a powerful Norman lord. Ludlow Castle was built as a strategic fortress to control the volatile Welsh border. It became a key stronghold for the Marcher lords. Norman nobles granted special powers to defend and govern the borderlands. Known as the Marches, the castle wasn't just a military base. By the 15th century, it was the seat of the Council of the Marches, established in 1473, which governed much of Wales and the surrounding English counties. Over the centuries, Ludlow has become known for its impressive Great Hall, built in the early 15th century, one of the finest surviving examples of medieval architecture, where the laws were made and justice was served. With centuries of political intrigue, battles and governance, Ludlow Castle stands as a powerful symbol of the wild, contested lands that shaped this part of Britain. And with that, I was escaping Ludlow, heading into the forests, hiking my way through the narrow gullies and back into the shelter of the trees, where I'd probably be tempting fate by risking removing my jacket. I reckon I might jump this fence. None of my luck. This is probably the trail. It looks like it comes to here anyway. All this headwind has got me nice and dry, which is very, very nice. However, the headwind, not so nice. And I've only got 12,552 miles to go. Thanks Cycling UK. Sent me an extra long version of the route. How many times have I got to go around? I have done about 60 miles today, so pretty good going. This section is fairly fast-ish, to Knighton at least, and then let the hills commence again. Probably going to try and do 80 to 90 miles, I think. Not going to set up camp too early. I'll ride until late-ish, maybe around 9 o'clock. We'll see. Alright, let's keep going.
Leaving the overgrown trails behind, I would find myself crossing the Welsh border, something I would be doing around 8 times on this route. I'd soon find myself pushing my bike up the steep Welsh climbs. Welcome to Wales. But my goal was Knighton, and I knew just over this climb I would be there. I just hoped I could get up and over before that low rolling foggy rain cloud could catch me again.
That's summer over then. Right, made it to Knighton. That means I've done about 67 miles. I want to do another 20 because I'm going to be heading up to, I think it's called the Kerry Ridgeway, Ridge Line, something like that. I was there when I did the Wales-England border divide, and I know there's a little spot. It's not the greatest spot, but I did camp there last time, so I know it's possible. So I'm gonna ideally get there today. It's about 6 p.m. The last of the drizzle is just going over, and yeah, it's been a really good day, apart from obviously getting very wet, but I don't really mind. It's just been fun. Route's been fun. Legs are starting to feel a bit tired now. Lots of elevation, lots of steep climbs, and a few more to go. At least 2 more to get over today to get to where I want to camp. But just smashed some of these strawberries in the tin, and gonna eat some Scotch eggs, and then we're gonna crack on. I just want the rain to stop. Tomorrow's looking pretty good, but then every day after, for the foreseeable future, it looks like rain. So I'm going to try tomorrow to get as close to the finish line, but probably not quite get to the finish line. Ploughman Scotch egg.
Okay, it tasted way better than it looked, and it looked better when I put it in my bag. And honestly, any energy was good energy today, especially now with about 20 miles to cover to get over to Kerry Ridgeway. And that 20 miles was not going to be easy. I couldn't even blame the Welsh hills this time, because I'd crossed back into England once again.
I basically got this descent and then climb up onto the Kerry Ridgeway, and then hopefully find somewhere to camp. If I find somewhere between now and then, I'll probably take that option as well, because although I am under blue sky right now, I'm still getting rained on for some reason. Only a little bit, it's just drizzly like it's been for most of the day, apart from when it was absolutely hammering it down. But also now I've turned, got a tailwind. Obviously tomorrow the wind's going to die down, it's going to be cloudy, but typical. But for now I get to finish the day with a nice tailwind. Beautiful.
That's right. Now that I had finally turned the corner, if you will, I had the wind behind me for the last few hours of daylight. And after a descent into the small village of Clun, unfortunately I didn't have enough time to check out the remains of Clun Castle, as once again the rain clouds had me hiding under tree cover to stay dry before camp.
That line of trees, that's where I need to get to. It's all the way over there. Ah, finally. Finally got to Kerry Ridge. Now, let's hope my camp spot's still good. To get a bit of shelter. The wind up here is absolutely crazy. It's coming from over there. Well, currently Kerry Ridge is like the Welsh-English border, so I'll be sleeping, I think, in Wales. As soon as them trees shelter me, I'll be a bit happy. Oh, finally, shelter. Right, you probably can't see me because it's way too dark, but I don't want to shine my light and potentially give my spot away. Don't think anyone's around, but just in case. I've managed to do just under 90 miles, 87 point something miles today. Still got 12,000 miles to go. 12,500. Yeah, it was a really good day actually. It was a battle, a right battle towards the end, just to get to this spot. I'm actually not in the same spot as I was last time. It's a bit better. I'll show you in the morning when it's a bit light, because you can't see anything right now. But I kind of got a nice view of all of that scenery out there. The wind's kind of going over the trees and stuff, so it's not hitting me. It's nice and calm where I am. Now tomorrow, it is meant to be the better day. It doesn't say rain, it says bit of sun in the morning, then it's cloud. Whether that'll actually mean rain or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, brilliant day. Over 80 miles, nearly 90 miles done actually. And that leaves about 70 or 80 more to go, 70 I think. Now the goal is tomorrow, kind of get as close to the finish line as possible without actually getting there for an easy finish the next day. But we'll see how things go. It's definitely a few hills tomorrow. Getting up to here is a slog.
I'm ready to sleep, so I'll see you bright and early in the morning.
Oh, good morning. It's a little chilly here this morning, but I'm glad to report weatherman Josh says the sky is blue and the sun, well, there's definitely some sign that the sun will be up today, and it looks like there's none of this low rolling cloud, which means no rain, hopefully. So it looks like it should be a dry day. It is a little chilly up here, but that was such a good night's sleep. I just camped over there in that little woods. Beautiful little view across the countryside, the rolling hills, beautiful. What's the time? It's currently 5:45, so nice and early. Sun is just rising, and we're starting following the England-Welsh border. Now, I can't remember which side. I think this is England. I think I slept in England. I think this is Wales. Probably wrong. Can't remember. Can't remember from the last time I came down here. But yeah, today I was looking at the map yesterday. Apart from the 12,000 miles I've got to do, it's actually about 70 miles to go. I've done about 110 so far of this route. So plan to do around 60, I guess. Just gonna try and not do too many. Not gonna try and actually get to Shrewsbury, although I could probably finish today. That's not the plan. I'm just gonna try and get kind of as far as possible into the route and have a nice easy day tomorrow. And if the sky stays blue, it's a perfect day for it. We can chill, we can cruise. There's a bit of wind. The wind is still up. The wind is still howling a bit, but let's start by following the England-Welsh border. Day 2 and a little bit. Ah, beautiful gravel. Beautiful gravel.
What a difference a day makes. And today I was starting off on the Kerry Ridgeway with the sun rising up behind me. The Kerry Ridgeway is one of the oldest routes in Wales, once used by drovers to drive livestock out of Wales into England. About 15 miles long, overlooking Wales on one side and England on the other. The views are incredible, especially on a day as clear as today. The trail never drops below the 1,000 feet, so you can see for miles upon miles. Following the Kerry Ridgeway in the footsteps of thousands of years of history and journeys made along this route, I climbed to the highest point and made my way up to Two Tumps viewpoint. It not only provides incredible panoramic views of both Wales and England, but it also reveals the ancient story of the land itself. The viewpoint is surrounded by prehistoric burial mounds known as the Two Tumps, thought to date back to the Bronze Age. The high ground has long been a place of significance where people paused, settled, or paid tribute to the dead.
I'm on poo covered bike. So much poo. Right, breakfast consumed. And now it's time to start making my way back into the hills and make good use of this blue sky and this beautiful sun. It's starting to warm up again now, so it's nice. I think the plan is today is to try and get to a place called Church Stretton, I think it was, and then just a little bit past there it looks like hopefully I should be able to find some places to camp and that. So, but that is probably only another 40 or 50 miles, so it does mean I get to really soak in this sun and hopefully see some nice views today. That's the plan. I've done about 14 miles so far today, and now that it's getting a bit warmer, the jacket is off, and let's go have some fun.
After yesterday's relentless day in the hills, it was a welcome break to have some flat miles out of Newtown, along the peaceful canal. I knew the big climbs were coming, so it was nice to just cruise for a bit and relax before the hard work began. My legs definitely appreciated the chance to take it a little easier. It almost felt like nothing could go wrong today.
I've got a slight issue. This is my slight issue. And all I seem to have is one zip tie. So it can't fit all the way around. So what I'm thinking, I'm going to see if I can punch a hole through here, punch a hole through there, and zip tie the bottom of it up. At least then it can sort of hold it in place. So obviously I can't clip in and clip out like this. Just another thing broken. Broke my phone on this one, and now a shoe. Okay, I've kind of done it. That'll work. The only thing is I've kind of made a mistake of putting that in the middle. Now I can't undo it, and I can't move it to the side, so I'm gonna have to try and be careful if I walk. Maybe just walk on my toes or something. But I'm quite close to a place called Montgomery, so I might see if I can pick up some more or something, and then I can just do it a bit better. But I think that will actually get me through. I can't really feel it underneath the insole. Just got to be careful with the walking so it doesn't break the actual thing. Can you bloody believe it? This little village has cable ties. It's like one little hardware store. Amazing. So the problem I'm having now is this is holding it in place, but it's moving back and forth because it's not glued on at all. Now, I was thinking gluing it, but I think that's going to take too long. So what my plan is now is to do it again here on the back and then here on the front. And I should be able to get it in between these little grooves of the shoe, which will stop it sliding forward and just keep it nice and solid. So that's what I've got to do. Put some more holes in my shoe. Only time will tell if it holds, but for now, it's looking good. Is there anything zip ties can't fix? Well, I won't speak too soon, but right now, it's working. I can kind of feel the zip ties on my heel and on my little toe, but we'll manage. Got a little bit of a descent, and then the climbing begins as we head back into the hills.
Hills, hills, hills. The time had come to head back into and up the steep Shropshire hills. At least today, the low clouds were well and truly gone, and that made all the difference. As I continued climbing, I stumbled across Mitchell's Fold Stone Circle, a Bronze Age monument dating back around 4,000 years. The stones themselves source from nearby Stapley Hill. No one really knows why they were placed here, perhaps for ceremonies, burials, or tracking the stars, but the mystery is half the magic. Local folklore tells of a giant witch who used a magical cow to provide endless milk until she was caught trying to trick it with a sieve and was turned to stone as punishment. Legend says she still stands among the stones, watching over the hills in silence. Whether you believe in a crazy milk-loving witch or not, I will let you decide, but for now I had to keep climbing and grinding my way up these Shropshire hills.
So good. Oh no. Always a sheep. Oh my god, I'm knackered. I basically got to get over this one climb. It's basically the last climb. The last proper climb of this route really. There are a few others, but this is the last long one. And I'm pretty low on liquids. There's like nowhere to filter on this route. There's like, maybe it's just because it's been so dry and all like the streams and stuff aren't running, but yeah, I haven't found anywhere to filter any water. So I'm just making do with what I got. Basically though, as I get to the top of this climb, which is steep and my legs are pretty knackered right now, and my foot, left foot, isn't exactly the most comfortable. It should be downhill into church, Stretton, and then I can find some water and maybe some ice lollies. But then that's pretty much as far as I really want to get to. We'll have to do a little bit extra to get out of there, but I'll probably climb up to the next climb, and then I'll start looking for somewhere to camp. It is pretty early. I mean it is only 3:30, so I've got plenty of time and everything, but just really want to get to the top of this climb. But I really can't bother to pedal it. Just one small step for Josh, and one massive hill later I might be at the top. Don't have the same ring to it, that did it?
For a while longer, I was off the bike, mostly out of pure laziness because I didn't want to grind up those rocky hills in the ever increasing heat. I eventually got back in the saddle when things started to level out though. The trails become a lot smoother, the views opened up again, and the riding got much better. except for this one really sketchy section near the bottom where the trail looked like it was about to fall off the side of a cliff.
Right, rehydrated, refueled, and now back on the trail. Today was definitely harder than yesterday. The last sort of few climbs of this ride, they're pretty tough going. Even with the weather yesterday was much easier. I've got probably about 30 miles until I get back to the finish line, so not doing too many more. It's currently about 5 p.m, so I'm going to start climbing up here. I think I'm going sort of up there and then sort of back around that way. So the idea is to find somewhere where I will be able to camp and just sort of chill out for a bit, enjoy the sunset maybe, and just relax and unwind. It's not meant to rain tonight. It might rain a little bit in the morning. Tomorrow is when the rain starts, but I should be finished by the time it starts. So just try to give myself a nice easy day tomorrow. So once I've gone up this climb, it's pretty much downhill. And gate. Hot. I'm sweating now. Not having much luck actually finding somewhere to sleep. Problem is, when you ride around hilly places and you want to camp in hilly places, is everything is on a hill, and you can't find that nice flat bit of ground. I'm kind of heading into this woods now, and I'm hoping maybe I'll find somewhere there. I was kind of hoping to have like a nice view somewhere in the open, but it looks like that's probably not going to happen now because I'm kind of close to sort of dropping out of the Shropshire hills and sort of down towards the finish line. I'm just sweating so much, though. It's so hot. But yeah, just keep going. Just want to find somewhere to sleep tonight.
I spent quite a few hours exploring these woodlands, hoping to find somewhere flat enough to pitch the tent. I walked, I roamed, I cycled, and as the sun started to set, you get that feeling about whether a spot will work or not. With the last light fading, I just about managed to find somewhere good enough. Good enough would have to do tonight. At this point, I was more than ready to call it a day and just get some rest.
Good morning. Luckily I found a little spot right at the corner around there. I've woken up. Now it said it was going to rain for maybe 20 minutes about 4 hours ago. It has not stopped raining. As you can see, it's very misty out here. And my weather app's still telling me it's not raining, but I can assure you it's lying, because it is. But on other news, good news, I've actually only got 10 miles to do. Somehow in the night I've done 12,000 odd miles. So that's good. Yeah, just 10 miles to go. It's been a nice route. And it's pretty much all downhill from here, but obviously it looks like it's going to be a bit of a wet finish. But there's a couple little things to see, stop off and see along the last 10 miles before we get back. Let's try and stay as dry as possible. The trees are doing a pretty good job of sheltering me. It's very fine, misty rain. Welcome to summer. Let's go.
With only 10 miles to go and leaving the shelter of the trees for one final time on this adventure, I would stop off briefly to visit Langley Chapel. This small, isolated chapel dates back to the 14th century and is one of the best preserved medieval chapels in Shropshire. With no electricity or running water, it stands as a simple, peaceful reminder of the past. Quietly watching over the fields. You could normally go inside to look at the early 17th century interior, but I had arrived a little too early this morning. It was originally built as a private chapel by the Lee family, who owned the nearby Acton-Burnell Castle, which was just a short pedal away through the quiet country lanes. Acton-Burnell Castle isn't your typical medieval castle, more of a fortified manor house really. It was built in the late 1200s by Robert Burnell, who wasn't just any local lord, but actually the Lord Chancellor to King Edward I, and one of the most powerful men in the country at the time. And this quiet little spot in Shropshire has a pretty big claim to fame. It's thought that the first English Parliament, where the Commons were properly represented, was held here in 1283. So while it might just look like a ruined old building in a field, it's actually where a big part of British democracy took its first steps. Not much of the original building is left now, just the shell really. The last stretch, rolling back into Shrewsbury, where this 180-mile adventure all started, back at the Shrewsbury Abbey, after days of climbing hills, riding past castles, wandering ancient stone circles, and plenty of hiker-bike moments. Arriving back in Shrewsbury, the streets are narrow, the buildings old and full of character. Shrewsbury used to be a key stronghold in a long battle between England and Wales, so it has stories hidden in every corner.